Fortnite just released new improvements to the visual audio. Now, if you don't know what this is, you can turn on visual audio here, and this video is going to talk about whether or not you should be using the visual audio. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get right to it. First, let me tell you guys how I tested this. I tried this in 3 different game modes to see how realistic and how helpful it was in each game mode. Now, I did 1v1 realistics, I did the late game solos, and then I also did regular solo arena to try and simulate multiple different aspects of the game. Using these 3 game modes, I'm going to go through pros and cons of the visual audio and then talk through whether or not you should actually use this. The first pro is you're very aware of players sneaking around. The visual cue is going to give you hints as to where players are and directionally where they are at. This was super helpful, especially in regular arena games where people are always sneaking around, especially off spawn, to try and catch you off guard. The second pro is going to be better awareness in fights. When there's multiple players around you, it's very easy to get confused or lost as to the other player's position. If they're walking around, the visual audio is going to let you know where they're at and allow you to reconfigure yourself based on what's going on in the fight. The third pro is going to be the gliding animation and the visual cue. Now, it is very easy to not see players flying in the air, but with visual audio, you're always going to have that visual cue right on your screen that allows you to see there are players up in the air. Alright, now let's talk about the cons, and the biggest one for me is all of the icons and stuff on your screen. It is going to clog up space and makes it harder for you to see things. Yes, they may be small, but this game is very important to have precise movement, aim, accuracy, and building mechanics, so all this extra stuff is just going to get in your way. This was the most apparent during the late game arena games that I played that simulates the somewhat of an end game in a tournament. Now, if you're in an end game of a tournament, you do not want all these visual cues on your screen because they go from being helpful to now just being way too much going on, and you can't actually tell what is going on your screen with using the visual audio. That was a big problem for me, and I do think that is a major downside to this visual audio. Another con is that if you're looking at the visual audio, you're not really fully paying attention to what's going on your screen. And I found this a couple of times while playing different game modes, and it really didn't matter the game mode. If I put my attention and tried to look at where the footsteps exactly were coming from, or trying to better calculate the position of the player using the visual audio, I lost track of what was going on right in front of me. And during important moments like when I'm trying to shoot, you're not really even going to be looking at the visual audio. All it is doing is taking up extra space. I found this really frustrating because I was not able to consistently use this while trying to fight and battle players. The third and final con to me is that it becomes a crutch to rely on. So instead of actually using your hearing and looking at the screen, seeing what's going on around you, you're using this visual audio to help you out and try and get you out of these bad situations. In my experience, using crutches is not better than actually fixing the solution, and in this case, just being generally more aware. I understand if you have actual audio and hearing issues, then you should be using this, but for players that are trying to compete at the highest level and have perfect hearing, I would not recommend using it. I think the biggest thing when it comes down to not recommending visual audio is going to be that all the information that you're getting on the screen is taking up space, pulling your attention away from what is important when you're also getting those same cues in your ears. Now, if you weren't getting everything in your ears and none of that information was helpful to you, then awesome, highly recommend. But in this case, you're just getting the same thing repeated in your ears that you see on the screen, and what's going on the screen is not perfect, just like your actual audio. Now, the problem with the visual audio mostly is going to be all the stuff that goes on during endgame really just clogs up your screen and doesn't allow you a clear picture of where those audio cues are coming from. Now, you might be able to find it useful after more time and practice with it, but overall, I think you're better off just using the regular audio, turning this off, keeping your screen as clean as possible. That way you can have the most information possible visually, use your information that you're getting audio, and combine the two to make it work. Now, most players have been doing this for a very long time and don't need to change anything, but if you thought about making those changes and you wanted to jump over onto the visual audio, I definitely hesitate. If you don't have the best headphones or you are playing on a scuffed setup, I would recommend it. Say you don't really get the best sound or there's a lot of noise in the background of wherever you play the game, then go ahead, use the visual audio. I think it will be helpful for you. So that is my overall recommendation for most players, most people playing competitively. It's not going to be worth it. If you're a solo arena grinder, probably use it just to make sure that people aren't going to sneak up to you. You're not going to run into situations with the over stimulation of the screen on end games, because you know most games are absolutely dead during the end. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. My name's Somebody's Gun. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.